Morning, guys. John here with, I haven't been able to figure out the name yet. American Shepherd, Urban Shepherd, Outlaw Shepherd, Urban Goat Shepherd, The Goat Shepherd, maybe a little bit of help. I don't want to fight the algorithm for viewers and stuff. And I just got here the littles, I call them. They're just separating themselves from the herd. And then we have these ones, the three new additions. They were the ones that were being slow to join the pack this morning. But so here we are, just kind of trying to lead them all back together out to here. We'll see whether it works or not. We've just been reunited with the herd after a year here on the coast, just working for money, for hay money basically, and had my friend help me keep the herd. He watched them through this whole season, and he was suffering from a lot of predator pressure. We had 7 losses, and probably closer to 10 actually. We lost a few of our lambs as well. I think we may have actually been getting victimized by a wolf pack as we started to hear about wolves in the region. So that could be what happened there. I guess I'm asking people to like and subscribe, and I'm going to set up a Patreon and want to try to stop working, doing carpentry and stuff, and be able to just kind of step away full time. It's been a struggle to try to get away from these guys to do any type of work because there's 70 of them now, and it's just hard for me to actually get away and do any type of work. So hoping to create a bunch of content that will make it a good deal for everyone. Guess I'm going to drop these bananas here for the pack here, and they don't all like bananas, but most of them do. They might trounce them. They might just kind of trounce them more than anything a lot, unless I hand feed them to them. I'm going to introduce a few of these goats here. I can't figure out how to flip the camera. So I'm going to go back over here, try to collect these satellite goats, as I call them, just subgroups of goats or a couple of goats on the outside of the fence. And basically today we're going to talk about the electric fence that I had set up, making sure I'm not being followed. That's the good thing about goats. I'm always talking about how goats are superior in a variety of different ways, like their liver, how they follow you. They follow us kind of like Big Levi dog follows us, you know. It's more like having, yep, I'm being followed. Being followed by the whole herd practically. It's like the bananas were too strong of an incentive. I'm gonna have to just go back over here. That's Indigo there. That's Chewbacca, the Angora King. Little Hoppity there. Mekarine, she's my little girl. And there's Georgie Goat, Ocarine Rintaro, Caramel, who shall be known thus forth as Dolce Nia del Toboso. Queen Zoe, one of the Banana Skur twins who needs to be named. And I'm not sure who he is. He's got a name already, but I want to name him after this little cross on his nose. His sister is named Guadalupe. Here we're calling him Baphomet, but I think I'm going to rename him too. Basically, most of them have names. Almost all of them have names. Sweet Mama here, she's a milker. Came to us kind of sucked up. Big backpack here. Chuck there, our Savannah King there. Meat was her name. I guess we should probably rename her too. She's not going to be meat for us. She's one of our top does, I think. She's mostly boar. Here's Lover Boy. He's got scurs on top of his head. I totally screwed up when I disbutted him when he was a kid. We pretty much stopped disbudding after the first 4 kids. We don't do that anymore. We like them to have horns. We want them to be able to cool themselves. Eventually, all these goats will have packs and we'll be leading expeditions up into the Olympics. So anyways, let's see, the superiority of goats. They do follow you. That's something about goats, is that they're not going to breach the fence and then disappear. Goats are always going to come back, and you're not just going to have your fence go down and then all your animals evaporate. Like the sheep, you may never see your sheep again if they break down the fence, but with goats, it's just not going to happen that way. They're going to be up pooping on your porch, you know, invading anything you got around, eating the neighbor's plantings, you know, which is, I mean, almost as bad as just your animals running away, you know. So it's not all just peaches and cream with these guys, but goats are just superior. Domesticated Ibex is what they are. So, oh yeah, I was gonna say something about inventory. A lot of people count their heads, and rather than doing a head count, what I suggest doing is just, if everybody has a name, then what you can do is just make a list of all your goats, like in your notepad on your phone, maybe, let's say, and then basically you'll just come out in the morning and you'll acknowledge each goat, and you'll figure out who all's there. And then once you've kind of said hi to everybody, you've now acknowledged all the goats, then you just kind of check through your list and you're like, oh yeah, I saw this one, this one, this one, this. And you can go through your whole list basically. And then if you have one that you're like, oh, well, I didn't see that one this morning, then you just go back and look in the herd again. You'll be able to see that goat if it's still there. And one of the Pixie twins here. And yeah, so inevitably, if you rely on a head count, they're really hard to get the head count right, A. And then B, if you're operating off of a false number, like let's say you thought you had 37 goats, but you actually have 38, then you're going to be all wrong, and you're not going to even notice that last 38th goat when it goes and gets caught in a barbed wire fence with its baling twine collar, let's say. So it's just a big deal to be proper with your count, and you don't want to end up forgetting about that 38th animal. Not a good deal. So I would like to get away from these goats and try to talk about the electric fence. So I'm going to just kind of set off through the field here, and maybe I can get away from them that way. Good at following me as they are. Big fees. Daisy. Yeah, say hi. Very pretty. She's my prettiest goat. Just kidding. Dolce Nia is probably my prettiest goat. Dolce Nia del Toboso. Oh, I better go check and see what the littles are doing too. I don't know if they joined back. Hopefully they're not up eating the roses. If they eat the roses, this job is probably done. It's another reason why I'm hoping people will subscribe to my Patreon, because if we have a catastrophe, I want to still and always be able to care for my animals really well, even if it's just going to be keeping them in a barn and feeding them hay, you know. But I try to keep them going as close to year-round as possible, doing foraging jobs. And I guess that's another thing to talk about is you see cattle farmers and people that deal in cows leasing out properties and showing videos about strip grazing and regenerative grazing on YouTube. And basically, that's kind of a niche I want to try to jump into. I guess the big difference though is money. Like Greg Judy talks about how cash flow is one of the essential aspects of doing anything like this. And with cows, it's a lot easier to be able to think about cash flow because there might actually be some, But with goats, you're looking at more of a situation where there might not be any cash flow because you don't have a 1,200-pound cow to sell, and you're not making money from meat really. Not to say that you can't, but generally you're not. And I know I look like I got punched in both eyes, kind of, but that's just how I look in the morning when I wake up sometimes. Until I get out on the morning run, which will hopefully soon be one of my pastimes that I reacquaint myself with. If I can just take on full-time life as a shepherd, I'll start doing lots of things different. Oh boy. So with goats, we're not actually going to be leasing the land. We're going to be struggling to, well, not struggling, we're going to be meshing and tying in with people who are more into this for the mutual benefit. We want people like this land here. They really want to have land clearing. They really want to have the goats eat down and beat back some of these Himalayan blackberries. It's a big deal to them to have areas of their land uncovered again and be able to get back to like a lot of that. They got buried farm equipment that's just been swallowed by the blackberries through the years, you know. Oh boy, I don't see the littles. They're probably going after the blackberry. They're probably going after. They're probably going after the rose bushes. All right, I'm gonna sign off for a second, and then we'll get back at it. I want to talk about the electric fence that I tried and failed at today.